Welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to be cleaning up the Junkyard shop because it has been pretty much a disaster for quite some time. And I've been cleaning up here and there, but today is the day. So I have the Durango Hellcat behind me in high build primer. It's gonna be about 65 degrees today. So I'm gonna pull her out in a second and let the sun bake that high build primer so the primer shrinks into all of those sanding scratches. Then tomorrow we could sand her in 180 grit, get her ready for the next stage of high build primer. It takes time, it is a process. If you don't do it correctly and don't let that primer shrink, it will shrink back under your clear in the base and you'll see all those scratches and it looks horrible. So we'll get her outside. I want to get the 240Z that's over in this corner into the other shop, and I want to get a bunch of this stuff that's just laying around, just organized and kind of, you know, I have Tesla seats from the Model X in here that don't need to be in here. I have a bunch of Durango parts. I have some seats for the Durango. I want to get all this stuff in its own locations and just kind of out of being just scattered everywhere. And the 240Z does take up a lot of space because it's just kind of in the middle of the shop. Then once that is all done, I can move the Durango back here if I want to use the lift instead of it being in the way of the lift. It will just be a lot nicer. Plus, I have to figure out where I'm gonna put an inflatable paint booth because I can't put one where the lift is because it would be too narrow. So I think what I'm gonna do is where the 240Z is, there is a bay door, and I'll have the inflatable booth temporarily here once I am going to paint the Durango. And after I paint it, I'll deflate it, roll it up, and put it away instead of having this big paint booth that's just sitting there like a permanent style paint booth because they just take up a lot of room. You pretty much lose a lot of shop space, and you're not painting all the time, and I'm not painting all the time. So I do paint a lot of stuff, but I don't paint that much stuff to have a dedicated paint booth yet. So let's get to work, get this thing outside, get her guide coated, let that primer shrink, and clean this shop up finally. got the Durango back in the shop, and I have this over here pretty clean, but then I piled a bunch of Durango Hellcat stuff over here, a bunch of the interior miscellaneous stuff. I also have some 240 dashes, right-hand drive dash, a bunch of left-hand drive dashes that I listed for sale because I don't really need that many spare dashes. The right-hand drive one isn't too bad, but the other ones are kind of iffy. They're cracked, and this one isn't too bad. It has some scuffs and a few little things from the cut that I got a long time ago. Had the windshield hanging on it or hanging over it, and it just kind of, you know, has some holes and has a little bit of damage here and there. But yeah, I'm happy that this is kind of in a pile. I also have a 240Z Fairlady Z right-hand dash and my 240Z dash. They're both of those are pretty awful as well, but they're usable. I could refinish both those if I need to, which I probably will end up doing later on. And then I cleaned up all my Bilstein, Hellcat, and Trackhawk struts, which that's a pretty penny worth of struts right there. I have calipers and arms and lower control arms there, upper control arms there, axles from the Trackhawk. Then I moved this right here. I moved that fan that was here. It's over there by the welder right now. And then I moved the 240Z out of here. I have the headliner from the Durango Hellcat right there. I listed it as a bare headliner because it is the Alcantara headliner, but you know, I'm gonna pull everything out of it to put on the non-sunroof headliner after I wrap it, because I need all this black trim, because if I don't have all this, the one I have is tan, which that'd look awful. Then I need to list that panoramic sunroof because I'm not going to end up using it. Then I have the Hellcat fender. I have the other fender over there behind all that stuff. And then we have the 240Z in this shop now under the 240SX. It's kind of hard to see. It's pretty dark in here. And I have the Durango seats from the wrecked Durango. And the Hellcat ones are in the other shop still. I need to still clean up that area. But yeah, 240Z, 240SX. Looks pretty good. The WeatherTech, or yeah, I think they're WeatherTech floor mats that were out of the wrecked Durango, and I'm going to clean these seats up and list them. The front ones are kind of iffy, but the back ones look like they're pretty good. So the second and third row, that would be pretty nice to get rid of all of those seats, because seats do take up a lot of room, and just kind of get a lot of this random stuff cleaned up in the shop, because I've had a pair of Challenger doors from the Scat Pack for a long time, and I think I still have the fenders too hiding around, but I kind of want to clean this table off. I'll put these glasses from the Durangos on a shelf and just kind of clean that up. And once these doors are back on the Durango, once they're painted, and you can't really see that because it's so dark, but yeah, once the Durango's back together, there'll be a lot more room, because a lot of the stuff, that's a whole Durango palette, and that stuff over there's Durango. All the seats are over here, and this is a bunch of brand new parts for the Durango as well, but I have a welding bottle and seals and stuff. Those Tesla seats are going to go outside. I don't know why I've left them inside so long. There's a brand new Durango front bumper for the Hellcat and all the miscellaneous pieces that go with it. So another thing, I'm gonna probably put that charger, that's a broken charger tranny. It has a good valve body though, that's why I've kept it. I'll probably stick it over here on this charger pallet, because I have the engine and the tranny out of that 2016 Charger, so I could have that kind of condensed as well. And then I also threw the 2016 Trackhawk, or the 2016 SRT Grand Cherokee differential back up there because it was laying on the floor. I have my subframe with the Trackhawk diff right there, and then we have the other subframe over here. So I'll probably end up moving this table over somewhere over here maybe. And then I think how I'm going to do it is, I think it'll be better to have the paint booth inflated this way, because there's more room. So I could just get everything out of the way, blow it up, pull the Durango in through here into the booth, and then if it's windy or something outside, I don't have to worry about the car being masked off or anything, then it being outside, because wind will blow that tape off. And a lot of people ask me what tape I use. I'll put the link in the description. It's this yellow stuff, which I use it for everything. It works really, really well. So there'll be a link in the description for that. And then I just use paper or the plastic, and I'll put links in the description for both of those. You could just use pretty much whatever. A lot of people use newspaper. I have seen, but they don't like pull glass or any of that stuff most of the time when I see people use newspaper. But yeah, let's get the rest of that stuff over there cleaned up tomorrow. And it does take a long time to get all this stuff done. Just man, I mean, just sorting stuff is the worst. But yeah, I think I'll put a couple pallets on that shelf up there and move some stuff around so I have some more room to do stuff. I'm really liking this layout though, with more room in here. I'll move all this stuff right here up, and then I need to go through my tools. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a lot of this stuff right here, like I brought my Milwaukee radio down here and all this paint stuff that I have sitting around now. I have this red-eye charger hood for my charger right here, but this table back here hasn't been used for a long time, and I like this table, so I'll use this for the paint stuff and the radio and all the stuff that I don't want on this table anymore, so I could actually use tools and do stuff on this table, and then I'll have some room on that table to do like body stuff and paint stuff. So let's pretty much end the video here. Trying to do dailies. If you guys haven't noticed, it's kind of difficult. We'll see if I actually get a daily from this. I might hold off and do it tomorrow. But yeah, if you guys like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, throw a thumbs up, throw a comment below. As always, see you guys next time.